So today we're starting out in my mostly dim lit section of the garage. Wanted to show you where I'm pulling the stock that I'm using today. What you see here, the big pieces, the big round pieces right there are all burl, walnut burl. There's a huge burl on the side of this walnut tree. These smaller pieces down here are all offcuts of that burl. So that's going to be a lot of turning stock here. Some of this will probably turn into turning stock as well. Some of that's going to turn into tables, end tables, and the like. In the far corner, that is just the walnut slabs that came off that section of tree as well. This piece here is the top slab of the irregular walnut slabs that I had in the far corner there. What you can see up here, this is where one section of that burl was attached to this tree. That's actually a small section of that burl. If I turn it over, you can see it a little bit better. So you can see that's got a little bit of that burl pattern in it. That's just the start of the burl that was on that side of the tree. And if I turn it all the way over, you can see where we're working today. So I'm going to save this section of burl for something. I don't know what. But today we're going to take a 9-inch section out of here, and we're going to make a large bowl, or a really deep platter. I don't know what you want to call it. We're going to try to use the most of the wood that we have over here, so we're talking a couple inches of thickness. I'm going to try to make it a little bit more of an angular base. I don't know if I have enough wood underneath here to make that happen. That's just what I'm thinking right now. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this slab over to my bandsaw, cut on the red lines, rough out the circle, and then we'll head over to the lathe. So I won't show you the bandsaw portion of this. I'll just meet you over on the lathe and we'll get this thing mounted up.
Subscribe now.
So I've got it mounted on a worm screw. I had taken it to the bandsaw. Since this side was flat, that's where I marked it. I didn't cut it perfectly around. I just knocked off all the edges that I could easily get to, just enough to be able to put it on the lathe here. First thing I'm going to do is go through and remove this bark, because it's not going to make it anyway. It's already wanting to come off, and it's just going to be making a mess for me when I start turning this. Since this is going to be the bottom, what I'm going to turn first, and that'll be flying right in my face. Okay, that'll probably do. So it is fairly out of balance. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is get my gouge in here and try to even this up fairly quickly. So I might be going up a little bit more sharper at the foot, and then have a curve like this coming out to the edge. Let's go ahead, since it's running fairly true. Well, it's, I mean, not true, but balanced. Let's see if we can't face up this edge. Make it round. I'm going to cut downhill for a little bit here. I mean, all this is going away anyway, so it doesn't matter if it's super clean. I just want to get some of this material out. I'm going to lean in here and talk to you for a minute. I had somebody leave a comment on one of my earlier videos, the one where I had the little wood chip fly up and land on my cheek just below my safety glasses. I believe it was Donna. If it's not, forgive me. But I believe she said that I really should be wearing a face shield, to which I replied, you're absolutely correct. A lot of times when I make these videos, I don't wear my face shield. I just wear the glasses because I don't want it to block my talking, the audio. So I figured, you know, I can clip my microphone here, put my mask down. I don't know how bad this sounds yet. This is the first time I'm trying it. But that's what I'm trying today. So especially while I'm turning some bigger pieces like this, or any pieces that have a tendency to want to chip off, I am going to be wearing my face shield more often. Hopefully I'll still be able to communicate with the face shield on with the microphone pinned here. Hello. And, you know, I'll be safe and still make content for you guys, and hopefully you guys can still hear me if that's something that's important to you. I don't know. So anyways, back to the bowl. It's kind of taking a pretty cool shape already, but so my thought process here now, I'm going to mark where I want my tenon, which is going to be somewheres in here. A little bit smaller than that. But so I'm going to make a tenon, and then I'm going to curve, make a smooth continuous curve out. So this will be kind of like a fruit bowl, I guess you could say. And then the plan is to come back and remove that tenon. So I want to be careful. I don't want to make too much of a tenon here, because I don't want just a tiny little foot for this to sit on, because then I feel like it'd be too, it'd teeter too much. It'd be too easy to knock off balance. So I'd like my end foot to be this size roughly. So I'm going to come up and start cutting a tenon in there, a shallower tenon. I think I can see, yep, this is already showing chatoyance in there, so this will be cool. Just have a white foot, you know, it is what it is. Do I love that shape, though? I may have taken away too much wood. I may be living with it, but let's try to clean it up a little bit. Start off clean. This part of the cut doesn't feel real clean. The outside does, though. So we're going to run a scraper around her. Hopefully I can fit this scraper around it. I think I can. Be interesting. So here with the scraper, obviously we've got to get above center and come down to center. So that's not too high. The trick with this cut, I'm going to take my mask off for this for a second because this is important. The trick with this cut with the scraper, I'm going to try to do a shear scrape. So the hard part is going to be right here. If you can see where I'm pointing, right in this corner, because as I start making my transition, I got to be real careful to not get this high point engaged in the wood, because if I do, it's going to slam down, it's going to take chunks off, it might break a finger. No good things are going to happen if I do that. So I'm going to try to do a shear cut. I'm going to pull it in here and then just be super careful coming around that bend to make sure I don't engage the top half of this tool. First thing I'm going to do is sharpen this dude up. So on this tool here, I've got the French curve. If you, I'm trying to not say that phrase. I've noticed I've been saying that a lot, so I'm not going to say if you will. I've got the French curve shape in it, so that's going to help me kind of get into these corners a little bit and be a little bit safer as I go. Just going to make sure I don't have too much of the tool engaged into the surface. That actually looks pretty good. I'm going to take another little lighter cut, finish this one out over here. Now we'll go in with a lighter cut. And here I am with my face shield up and not even wearing any safety glasses. Not smart, Adam. I need to work right through here. It's a little chunky through here. So I've got to finish that curve out. I am going to switch to my safety glasses now because all the big chips and things are gone. Just after I got in there, I saw where I could improve that shape a little bit, so I went ahead and did it. I like that shape now. Yeah, I like that shape now, so let's try to get her cleaned up again. Okay, so now's a good time to tell you. I'll probably have told you before now anyway, but I am going to change up my finishing process on this bowl. Before now, I've done it almost strictly. Almost every project I've done has been almost strictly Richard Raffin's technique of oil and wax and calling it a day because it's going to be used a lot. And, that was my goal with my bowls as well. This one obviously is not necessarily going to be a used every day kind of an item. It's more of a display piece item, put some fruit in it, whatever, have it sit there. So I'm going with a different finishing process. First thing we're going to do is take our little shop towels. Got isopropyl, because that's what I've got and that's what we're working with. So we're going to clean it up. Get that sand or the dust off of it. Pretty dusty. Now, I'm not going to be applying finish down here. Obviously, I'm taking that tenon off later, so I'm just cleaning this part. Come back and do the bowl at a later time. Okay, so we've got that cleaned up. So I'm going to use some shellac. I've got some shellac that I made earlier today. I've got, it's a 2-pound cut shellac. So I didn't order the garnet, but man, this looks like garnet to me. It's awful dark, but that's okay. So to apply this, very simple, clean towel, apply some to the towel, let it soak in, and then just wipe on the surface. Now this first layer is going to be thin. A thin coat just to get the shellac worked in. Let the wood take it in. And we'll give that a moment to set up and dry. Since this is alcohol based, it really only takes a few seconds for that alcohol to come off. Once the alcohol is dried up, it's ready for second coat. Now, hopefully you guys can see that chatoyance in there too. It's another reason why I wanted this to be shinier, to show off that chatoyance a little bit more. I was hoping this piece would have it. Okay, looks like it's already dry, so we'll go back with our isopropyl. Clean that up. Now, the video I was watching, is Mike Holton is the video I was watching on this finishing technique. He went back with some sanding paste. I don't have any sanding paste. It's on its way, so I'm going to skip that step. But if it feels like it needs it, then I'll put some steel wool on it, which probably wouldn't hurt anything just to do it anyway. Got some 4/0 steel wool here. Just to kind of even it out. I'll do a quick turn with this. And then I'm going to go ahead and do one more layer of shellac. Get it on there good. Make sure it's nice and even. We'll let that dry. Repeat the process again. Okay, clean it off one more time real quick and clean. Now we're going to be using some OB Shine Juice. So OB Shine Juice is real simple to make. I just made this up today. Super easy to make. All it is equal parts alcohol, shellac, your full 2-pound cuts, what I have, shellac, alcohol, and oil. I've got mineral oil here, so equal parts. I've done 50 milliliters of each, so I've got 150 milliliters of shine juice. Now this, as I've never used this, and I've only ever seen it applied once by Mike, but according to what he said, this stuff is a friction polish. So I'm going to apply some to get my towel saturated. We're going to apply it with the lathe spinning, and then as the towel dries out, we're going to slowly apply more on top. One coat of shine juice. Oh man, that chatoyance looks amazing right now. Hopefully you guys can see that thing. I'm picking up that chatoyance from edge to edge right there. That's what I was hoping for. And it's kind of bouncing off the center here too. So we'll let that dry for a moment. And we'll go back for second coat. Oh my. That's why I didn't try to do it left-handed earlier. I'm not very coordinated anyway, let alone left-handed. See how that looks. Man, that looks good. All those different colors and that walnut showing up real nice. All right, do we leave it or do we go one more coat? I heard everybody say one more coat. So we shall. I can see I don't know if you guys can see the definition of the light getting clearer and clearer, sharper and sharper. So that means we're getting shinier and shinier. So I'm going to leave it there. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, I'm happy. So let's go ahead and turn this around, get it chucked up. I'll get the front done. We're gonna have to turn this back around anyway to get rid of our foot. So I'll worry about, we just got some tear out on the sapwood here. So we'll worry about that in a moment. Still recording, right? Yeah. Added distance. I think it looks fantastic. Up close, I don't love it. I don't know what I've done wrong here, but it's not applied super even. I mean, right through here, there's a bit of a dull patch, and then I don't know if you guys can pick up on that or not. When I get into the light in this area, it just doesn't look like it's picking up the shine quite as well. So I don't know why that is, but I'm sure, I mean, that probably doesn't matter too much because I'm sure the more it's handled and used and dropped, um, it'll work up its own finish a little bit anyway. So, all right, now all we got to do is deal with this foot and we're home free. My microphones keep turning off, so we're pretty much done anyway. Um, so I just applied a thick last coat. I lost count. You guys probably know better than me, but I think I did 5. We're gonna let that dry up. I'm gonna run my steel wool, try to even that last layer because I did do a heavy layer. I'm gonna try to even that out. Then I'm gonna go back in with the OB Shine Juice for at least 2 layers, maybe 3. We'll see what happens. Take this little foot off and we'll call it a day. Well, we're not going to do a comparison on the foot because I flubbed that up and it looks like crap, but that's my fault. And if this was a customer piece, I'd spend more time fixing that, but it's mine. That's what you guys don't understand. Most of the time when I'm turning on video, it's for me. Okay. Well, there it is. It's a unique one. I don't know if I'm in love with it or not, but it is what it is. Some people will like it, some people will hate it. It's different. That's what happens when you make something that's different. Hate the foot for sure. That's ugly as crap, but I'll mess with that a little bit more. I'll get it cleaned up. But the shellac, I think it's, overall, I'm going to give it a B-. I probably screwed it up more than anything. I'll have to play around with it some more. I mean, the thing about it is the oil and the wax, you just about can't screw that up. Super simple. The finish that it leaves is middle of the pack. I mean, so ease of use for oil and mineral oil and wax, ease of use A+. Finish it leaves C, right? Finish this leaves right now, I'm going to give it a B. Ease of use, I'm going to give it a B-. So it probably averages out to be around a B, B-. But I'll just have to play with it a little bit more and figure out what I'm doing wrong and try to fix it. So anyways, there it is. Got that chatoyance on it, which is really, really cool. Looks great. So anyways, thanks for hanging out in the shop with me tonight, and keep an eye out because we got more videos coming, more stuff, and we'll see you on the next one.